roof. That's the house that he was sold to
12
slavery.
years of slavery.
Right here on
Right
the left.
here. Oh, that's
Down
where he
from my
was
left,
sold
yeah.
at.
That's the
right
actual
here.
house.
Oh,
Now, he
wow.
was lured from New York City to Washington, D.C. Kidnapped, brought down to New Orleans, and they brought him in right here, 1413, as a free man. He went out 1411 as somebody's property. All this was slave quarters back in the day.
Wow.
Now, this house called a Creole Cottage. I got to tell you a little bit about the dog. Now, this house is a shotgun. He's real popular in New Orleans. Y'all got shotguns in Philly?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Shotgun house. They're very long and narrow. And you know why? Because they used to tax for the width of a house. So that's why they have a lot of long. Yeah. Now, this Frenchman Street. I think you was asking me about the street dancing. You want to catch it at 9 o'clock at night. It's going to be right here on Charters and Frenchman.
Okay.
That was an African American owned restaurant. They moved it.
Charters.
Right there. You see right there where it says Charters and Frenchman? They have a second line band. It start about 9 o'clock tonight.
Let me take a
But
picture.
there's a lot of clubs on this street right here.
Charles and Frenchman.
This Frenchman. Uh-huh. Now the Maison, the truck in the way. But the Maison down there, you got Blue Now, you have Visos, you have Niger Cafe.
Is that
Down
all?
that way, down this
I
way, you
don't
have Apple Barrel, you have Snug Harbor coming up on the left. You got the Spotted Cat. Now DBA has some good drink. Ask me, I know.
How you know?
Yeah, the Spotted Cat, like Zydeco. You see, you got live bands in all these places. Snug Harbor. Now, Snug Harbor have some real good entertainment. You see, they got the drums. When you got them type of drums, you know who must be beating it, right?
Yeah.
We coming down.
But I
Over here.
want to know, where is the...
Rose in the
that
Car.
right
This
there?
was a black girl who bought her freedom selling coffee in New Orleans. Rose in the Car. What was that, love?
I want to know, where is the black people playing the trombones and
Well, they got
and
someone
stuff?
being in these clubs.
Because all I
And you know
see
that
is the
place I
white
showed you,
people.
Sweet Lorraine?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I told you tonight on Frenchman and Charters.
Okay, that's where they... Okay.
Frenchman and Charters is going down.
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
We going there.
That's the real culture. They ain't no, yeah, and you know what they did?
What?
They didn't want to be behind them clubs, so they come out in the street. It's like a street party.
Yeah.
And most of all New Orleans culture is street culture.
Okay, yeah.
Like for instance, it's a famous candy here in New Orleans called praline. Anybody heard of praline candy?
Yes, I love them.
That's
The
part
jazz
of
is
the
very
black
good.
culture.
Really?
Yes.
I love it. I had that praline.
After
I had
things was
the, I say
emancipated, they
praline.
told black women they was free. They wasn't
Yes.
serious no more. They started selling candy in the street. That's one of the first. That's
It's
one of
called-
the first street foods in the country.
So it's called
Praline.
praline.
Yeah, some people praline,
I
but
said,
it's called pecan candy.
pecan.
Now you might call it pecan candy, but we call it pecan candy.
So
yeah.
delicious.
That's the
Ice
old
cream.
name because they call them pecans.
I get it.
But
ice cream.
but yeah, just depends how you pronounce it. Same difference though.
Mm-hmm.
As well, and also, y'all have anyone tried gumbo?
Yes.
Gumbo
No.
is another African dish that was preserved because of the culture. It was called gumbo. The ancestors brought this food to the New World called gumbo, and they kept saying gumbo is like a base. It's like a root base.
Uh-huh.
And then after that, a lot of other cultures start adding to the pot.
Oh,
But
okay.
it's gumbo. Another
It's
food that
gumbo.
came from the ancestors that was preserved, jambalaya. Anybody heard of jambalaya?
Yes,
It's
yes.
another African food, you know.
So why they
And you
call
can,
it
tell, and you can stand up and
gumbo?
tell anybody in the
It's
quarter and
gumbo.
challenge them. It's a fact. That was an African food. The word jambalaya is a word comes from the Fun people, from the Ivory Coast of Africa. Well, today is the Ivory Coast. But
Okay.
what was that? Let me cut this off. What we got? Too much heat?
No, we
Good?
fine.
All
It's
right.
a mixture, the balance up
All
in
right.
here right
Now,
now.
what was that question you asked me?
No, I was just saying that why they changed it to gumbo, because it's G-U-M, because it's gumbo.
What she said?
It's gumbo.
Well, they are because they didn't understand what they were saying. See, the Africans, when they was cooking, they were saying gumbo. When they was bringing it into Congo Square, they kept using the word gumbo. Gumbo, that's what they was, gumbo. And then, you know, the Europeans just say gumbo. And another thing that
They
was,
always change it.
yeah, another thing, I'm going to tell you one of the major things that has been changed in this country. The people from Benin, they used to be a spiritual belief called Manjajambo. Manja Jumbo. And later
I
on,
know.
they changed that. Exactly. You heard that before?
Baja.
Yeah. Mumbo Jumbo. They made it out of gibberish. They made it, but that was a religion of protection for wife and
Is
children.
that like a witch or something? Wait, no, that's a Baja.
Huh?
That's a Baja. Is that like a witch?
No,
Baja-
it's not. It's just a spiritual.
A
it's not really-
spiritual?
no, it's just a spiritual belief that they
Okay.
that they brought with them.
Baja.
Mumbo Jumbo. Oh, you talking about the original name? It's called Mumbo Jumbo.
Mamba Jumbo.
Yeah, Mumbo Jumbo.
Oh, so that's.
And it came out to be Mumbo Jumbo. And that's when it been downplayed. They downplayed it because
'Cause
they
they
knew
always
these type of
downplay.
spiritual that the ancestors brought was real
Yeah,
powerful.
powerful.
So they tried to get the next generation away from it.
And people
And
are
they start
scared of.
demonizing. Now people come to on, oh no.
And they
no.
scared of
They
Badu.
scared of
They
kids, you know.
scared of the Mamba
But we were
Jumbo.
spiritual, we came here. Bottom
Yeah.
line, thousands years prior to us coming to the new world, we were
That was
spiritual.
our power. That's how we protect it. And
Exactly.
they stopped it. But they using it now.
Yeah.
They're using it.
Carlos was one of the first people that he was the medicine man here in New Orleans when Spain was in control of New Orleans, and he was teaching everybody how to use this their spiritual belief to gain rebel. He was
Yeah.
teaching everybody, like, you know, and then he got charged with poisoning the food, poisoning the water supply, and
Dang.
But yeah.
Yeah, they tried. They did us dirty.
now this neighborhood we're in is called Faubourg Marigny once again. A lot of Creoles live in this community.
Mmm.
You have Creole. You have different variations of Creole. You have octoroon, quadroon, and mulatto. Octoroon meant that one out of your 8 great grandparents was of African descent. A quadroon means that one out of your 4 grandparents is of African descent. One of the most famous Creoles came from this community was a guy by the name of Homer Plessy. Homer Plessy.
I'm a person.
He responsible for the 1896 separate but equal case that became the law of the land here in the United States because he was Creole and he got on the train. This happened way before Rosa Parks. He let him know that he was Creole. Well, first the lady sold him a ticket for first class. So that meant what? He must have passed for a white person.
White person.
He got on the train, he let it be known that he was of African descent. They told him to get off, he refused, he went to jail. And he didn't stand that long, but he got out and, you know, they challenged that case and they fought it for the next 4 years until it made it to the United States Supreme Court. But look to the left. See what it said, Homer Plessy, wait. Also, there's another sign say Bywater. Once we cross this track, we're going to be in Bywater. Now, why do y'all think they call this neighborhood Bywater?
Because it's by the
Just
water.
that simple. Yeah, it ain't for the plate. It's Bywater. Yeah, and during Hurricane Katrina, it didn't flood in Bywater. 0 flood water in Bywater.
Really?
Yeah, because this is considered high ground. Yeah.
And this is this the richest part that they were trying to save where all the buildings is at?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, that's like in the Garden District. Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the reason why, because this also part of the Ninth Ward. Now I got other sections that in the Ninth Ward had over 30 feet of flood water.
Wow. Their house look.
I'm gonna go back to Plessy in a second. I want to take y'all over here because
I want that picture with
Who that girl? Who that girl?
who that grill?
Yeah.
What that's that? On the right?
It's over on the
Oh
left.
yeah, we about to go. That's where I'm going.
Okay.
This is a friend of mine. His name is Brandon, and they call him B Mike. Now he's an activist, but a lot of white people. It don't matter. Everybody comes see some of his artwork, but he is he's like a little activist in the city. He got a lot of beautiful black art. If you
This
get a
is
chance, it costs about
nice.
$8 to go in there.
This is nice. I
Yeah.
love this.
Some of his art. Got
Oh,
pictures
this
of
is nice.
Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and every other activist that was real popular in the city.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah, y'all can
This
take a
is
picture.
beautiful.
People
Look
do that all
at
the
it.
time.